Good morning, Talk Visual 305. Demetrius Knowles, Julio Guzman. We're here for another episode. Demetrius, some interesting things happened this week.
Yes, man. Congratulations.
Yes, I'm very excited about what I learned. You know, sometimes when everybody's asleep late at night, what I do is I get on the computer and I start looking into things that I feel can help or things that I don't have a lot of time to do during the day because we're back to back in this rat race, right? So what I did was I was watching things on how to create an AI agent.
Now tell me something about this new AI agent you have learned. I mean, you know, what is this?
So basically, an AI agent is an artificial intelligence agent that can create and do tasks for you that you may not like to do, you may not have time to do them, or it's just tedious. So all of the things that you want to create and you want to have that person next to you to say, hey, I'd like you to go do X, Y, Z. I'd like you to go learn this new information, this new technology, or go learn how to do this task.
Right.
And then I want to implement that in my business.
Okay.
Right?
So it's an assistant that allows you to help make your job a little easier out there. And making your job a little easier, everybody wins in that case. So tell me a little more about this AI.
So let's put it in.
Let's dive in.
Let's put it in layman terms, right? Let's say you've got a website, and on that website you've got a chat box, right?
Right.
So on the bottom, there are some people that sometimes they may not want to call a company.
Right.
You know, they may just want to hit that chat button and say, hey, I've got this question, or I've got this issue with my account, and I'd like you to help me with this. And then we're thinking that there's a human on the other side that's going through and checking our account, first vetting our account, making sure it's us, then going through a series of questions to understand what it is that our issue is and what the solution could be. So now you can teach an AI agent to go and give it the instructions on what you want it to learn. Then you can implement that into your website as a chat box.
Right. I'm taking notes, by the way.
And then a person can come and say, hey, I'm interested in this, or I'm having this issue. And while you give the AI instructions, it actually wants you to tell it how you want certain responses to be, so it's more conducive to your personality.
Okay. Now, how does that assist you versus the live agent, the real agent, the human element? Is that replacing the human element, or that's something that you feel that is an assistant to that person?
I mean, it's almost just like the person, because you've trained it to be like you. However, nothing can ever replace
the human,
a real human.
The emotions, the feelings of things, and getting things done. I think that it's 24 hours, so which means that it can do things for you at any given moment once it's tasked, I guess, right?
I thought at the beginning it was very complex, and you needed to have all kind of coding experience, and you needed to learn all kind of computer science language, but it's not like that. There is a website that I went to, and it's free, by the way, and the website is called botpress.com, and they give you a free version. This AI agent says, give me the basic set of instructions of what you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
Then the next task is very user friendly too.
Right.
The next task is, tell me where you want me to find this knowledge on how to do this effectively, which is great because you can either upload videos, you can upload documents, you can give it specific websites on what to go learn, on where to go search. So the AI agent will then go grab all the information, and now the next set of instructions is, okay, when a person comes and asks a question, you want me to respond, and you're like, exactly, that's exactly what I want you to do. So it's almost like in the Matrix when Neo got into the thing, and he says, I want to learn jujitsu. That's how fast it is. That's exactly how fast it is. So we're here.
It feels like you're plugging in and simply getting smart instantly now. So much for the traditional way of doing business. We have to keep up in order to stay a part of the game. This allows us to stay a part of the game.
Like I had said in the previous episode, in business, everybody is trying to knock you out every single day. Everybody is trying to grind a little bit harder. So this is a way that if you're not doing this, your competitor is.
Right.
And if your competitor has an edge because they seem to, address leads a little bit faster,
right,
or address customers a little bit faster, more efficient, then customers are going to gravitate towards that business. So you don't want to be left behind saying, oh, I don't want to learn about, AI agents and how they can help my business. I mean, just take a minute,
right,
go through the process
and learn it.
Right, and see how it applies to your business, and or just ask yourself, what are the things I don't like to do?
And usually the callbacks, the responsiveness via email,
right.
If someone can take that on as a task or something, it alleviates you to be free to do other things, being more complete, right? And I think that I'm a great component of learning new things,
right,
and having that as a tool in your shed or
right,
or a notch in your belt would be great. So what else have you learned about it?
Well, after I implemented it, you start to get a little more creative and start to go, man, I could step this up another level. I could really make this do some amazing things.
Right.
And one of the ways is you can create your own avatar that's a spitting image of yourself. It's a spitting image of yourself.
Okay.
And you're going to speak into, the voice recorder, and now it has your voice.
Right.
So you've just replicated, you've just created a clone,
right,
of yourself.
Right.
So let's say the person on the other side may want to see the agent, almost like a Zoom, right, video.
Okay.
So now the person goes, wow, I just clicked on this chat box, this Zoom image popped up, and it's Julio on the other side talking to me, right, about how to solve my problem, wow, with your same mannerisms,
right,
your same gestures, your same voice.
So old schoolers out there, right? Those old schoolers who says, heck no, I want to have a human. I want that human touch, feel, likeness, pick up the phone, speak to. Those moments are not going away. This is just to make our job, your job, more efficient, right, and to be able to be more responsive and to avoid any mishaps, right?
Right.
But most importantly, the customer is getting the assistance needed, whether it's coming from you or typing it, texting it, AIing it. It doesn't matter as long as the information that has been provided is accurate.
Right.
That is the key. Having accurate information, having it do its research, do its research to come back to you and says, here's my findings. Did that help you? And if it did, then you'll say, great job, 5 stars.
Correct.
Wow.
That's exactly, in real estate, let's, for example, say there's a real estate sign and it has a QR code. Mm-hmm. And you're a customer driving by and you say, hey, I really like the way that house looks. You could scan that QR code, and obviously it could be after hours, it could be late at night, but you still want to provide a certain service to that customer because they may work days and have nights off,
right? Right.
Or they may work nights and have days, whatever that situation is, but you want to provide the same level of service at all hours. Let's say you could provide it at 24 hours.
Right.
Now, this person can scan that QR code, and there is someone on the other side that is giving them real-time information that makes that customer feel satisfied, fulfilled.
Right.
They got what they needed, and they can go ahead and make decisions the next day. And then let's say you want to use it to create leads. You've got all kinds of signs out,
right,
out in the field,
community,
right? And now, as a real estate broker, you want to capture those leads and you want to assign them to your agents.
Right.
There's a lot of moving parts there.
Yeah.
Right. So if there's a way that you can optimize that at a really highly efficient level, mm-hmm, that's the direction we're going.
I think that's the right direction. Right. I mean, I think that should be able to, separate you from the rest, right? Separate you from the pack, as they say. Just like in the tech space, right? In the wireless, we have smartphones. You can actually, with the new AI features now installed in all the new smartphones, in the new Android usually at this point, where You can speak to me in 19, maybe 20, maybe more, maybe 50 different languages on a call. I pick up the phone, I call you.
Yeah.
You speak Mandarin.
Yeah.
It automatically translates my English to Mandarin on the phone call. And on the other end, I'm speaking to you in Mandarin. When you speak to me, it converts it back to me to English.
Real time?
Real time.
Like president
Yeah,
talking to Russia or whatever.
Right now.
They no longer need translators.
Right now.
That's amazing.
The Samsung brand phone
That's
now
amazing.
has that technology. Now you just hit the microphone while you're on the call, and it'll automatically switch to the language of that person's choosing, and you can have that conversation and without any interruption, like business as usual.
So what that's doing is bringing the world closer.
Yes, sir. There's no excuse.
Everything is connected now. There are no more borders.
Right.
There are no more excuses, like
No
you just
excuses.
said.
Right.
If you want to get something done, all you have to do is think about
Right.
what you want to get done and put some action behind it.
Right. See, between the AI factor of doing the research and pulling that information, yes, we used to have the old, let's go to the Cyber, the library, and let's pull the information, the encyclopedia factor. But now technology has allowed us to be able to use the World Wide Web. Right? And now now that's available to us. Now we have that factor. Now we can even have a conversation and you don't have to worry about the language barrier because your client could be on the phone with you and you can simply text them and have that conversation translate automatically to the language of the phone capabilities and vice versa via text or via phone. So what's the excuse now?
One of the things I love about you, Demetrius, is that since we've met, you've never kept secrets. You know, you've always said, hey, I'm here to share.
That's
I'm
right.
here to share. And that's what this show is all about.
Right.
We're here to share information because we know, regardless if we give you the blueprint, there are some people out there that are just not going to do it.
Not at all.
Right.
That is true. You know, like I said, we have tips and tricks. We're dropping tips and tricks that we've found that works, that we've seen that, okay, we have had the trial and errors with. Right. And now we're just dropping it giving it to you, dropping some good stuff in your ear. So now that you have that.
So if it helps one person,
yeah,
we feel accomplished.
That's right. Fulfilled.
We feel good.
Yes.
We feel fulfilled about what we've done because that's what we're here to do. Give you guys things that we have already tried and you could put it to play and
right.
let that flourish in your business.
You know, AI is here. Utilize it for the good of it, for that's going to enhance you and your family. In your everyday life, whether it be business or whether it be in personal. A phone call can now be translated where you don't have to have a problem. You can text. When my employees have a concern of the language barrier, they can pick up the phone, go into that mode, the Google translation, and the person speak, and that conversation can be held and converted instantly without having to get support from someone else. Okay. So the days of I don't speak Spanish, I don't speak French, I don't speak Creole, or I don't speak German, whatever it is whatever language that's out there right now, that's programmed, will automatically be able to assist you with closing the gap on, we can all help you. And same thing when we travel to Europe, I use that app quite a bit.
That's cool, man.
And you feel welcome. So on our next visit if we decide to go over to Japan, I would like to utilize that and put that in full motion. Outside of knowing the generic stuff, I want to be able to hold a complete conversation.
D, on another topic, I've been seeing a lot of information specific to Elon Musk and Starlink. You know, he's had this feud with President Trump recently, but
right.
regardless of what's going on there, Starlink, that has provided, you know, high velocity internet.
Right.
What do you guys call it?
Well,
high speed internet.
High speed. I like that name. That sounds great.
So, what is the difference with fiber, satellite, cable? What is the best?
Well, in my opinion, three-faceted, right? Cable, the old coax cable is the old network, you know, and I won't geek you out or geek the audience out. You know, the coax cable, you know, how it gets congested at a certain time. It's the old, so that's why we're updating the infrastructure to get rid of the old copper. I'm sure for the most part, we get rid of as much of it as we can out there. Second, then you go into fiber. Fiber's glass. So simply it's just used like you on that highway by yourself.
It's a dedicated line.
Dedicated line. The speed is the same up as it is down. Fiber. It's not available in every area, but when it is, I recommend getting that. And if you happen to be in rural areas, you have the the Skylink from Elon Musk. I think that's an option too, where you get satellite option, where it's using the sats. The satellite option would be probably a bigger audience right now, because they're testing things with your watch. You know that with your Apple Watch, you can be off the grid, and if you fall, it can assist you in some facet. If you fall, your phone will automatically reach out to 911 and can drop your coordinates to the first responders, including family. So as it learns more things, whether they're going to trial it in cell phone mode, all those to be determined. I'm sure they probably are. That's a smart thing to do. But there have been studies out there that's been released that they've already saved a few lives from it. Okay. So your smartwatch and your phone can actually be off and using the satellite. So satellite is obviously the better option, because it used to be super expensive to have a satellite phone. Today, it's relatively cheap. And now with the text factor in there, I can't go into as much detail as I can regarding that, because that's not my topic. My conversation would be you got to stay current with technology in order for it to work for you.
So let's say in this studio, we've got Comcast. Okay. Right? Should be AT&T, but
100%. So what we first do is check the address to see whether or not it qualifies, because not every address gets it, and I know certain cities or municipality are they're lagging on getting the stuff done that's needed, because cutting the road up or running it in your backyard with a pole and going above ground versus underground where it's needed, and being able to agree to it, because sometimes it's all based on what's in it for me.
But this is downtown Homestead.
Right.
You would expect that there's fiber here, at least in this corridor.
And it should be.
Right? It should be.
It should be. Why isn't it? I'm still mind-boggled by that, because downtown is downtown. Certain areas do have it and some don't. Why is it delayed? Well, they're looking into that to find out what's causing it, what's the delay, and getting it pushed out to everyone. We wanted to have it in every home.
Is there a competition versus which company gets to bring that service here?
I'm sure there probably is, and there's reasonings behind it for whatever alignment that the company is using. Right. They have different alignments for different reasons. So as far as the bid, whether they won the bid and to have it, I think fiber is the future of things in the home, because fiber, that speed is by far the best. Speed up and down. Most of the techs will tell you that fiber speed is asymmetrical. It goes up and down the same speed. The other companies, they can go up, but they come down slow.
And there's nothing more frustrating than when you're in your groove and you're doing something on your system, and all of a sudden it just freezes up and it's buffering and it's going, even on your TVs now.
Even on your TV.
You're watching, you're into a show, all of a sudden it starts buffering. You're like, what's going on?
Right.
So is fiber a lot more expensive than?
No, actually not. I mean, for the most part, fiber, for one, there is no commitments at this time for residential. Two, the fiber speed is the same. They call it asymmetrical when the speed is up and down, the same speed. And it's private. So therefore, that glass that's coming in, therefore it's only you on there. So I would highly recommend it, because it's nothing worse than you sitting there and you could go get coffee, come back, and it's still buffering. Now, there could be other things that may be causing it. Your machine may be old. You may need a new modem. There may be some upgrades required. But if you do have questions and we want to check your address, reach out to me. My information is, and so is yours, on the bottom of the podcast, where we can at least check to see, hey, do I qualify? Do my community qualify? How do I get us involved? We've been able to move into communities and be able to service the whole community, and everybody becomes instantly happy. So when they see us, they're extremely happy, because who knows
That's
fiber
awesome.
is the real deal.
That's awesome. Sometimes it gets confusing understanding the difference between fiber, satellite, all this technology. But like you said, either we stay up to date or we get left behind.
That's
That's why we're here. We're here for you to keep you guys up to date.
Correct. Tips and tricks, man. We definitely want to make sure, as we come to you weekly, we want to make sure that you understand that we love doing this. We want to make sure that you understand we're helping our community by bringing some of these stuff that we've tried, or we bring persons on that's professional in their fields that they can simply help us and help you get some information. Tips and tricks.
And a lot of what I've been hearing out in the street is, why don't we have more restaurants in downtown? Why don't we have more cafes? So we're calling out all the restaurants, all the cafes, all of you guys that are up north, because Homestead is a huge city. Homestead, the customers are here.
Right.
The customers are here.
Yes.
And commercial typically follows residential. So Everybody knows
Well,
that
we
are.
all know that Flanagan is coming.
Yeah,
I mean, and they're
Flanagan's
a big brand. I mean, Chick-fil-A, they're all here now. Before they would not come here. The coffee house is now here. Starbucks, all those big names like that, they're now coming down here. That was not coming down here previously. So a lot of amazing work is happening here. So if you're a business owner or if you just moving to Homestead, you might want to consider that, man. We need more restaurants. We need more things for the kids to do here.
I got some inside information.
Ooh, what you got?
I heard Sushi Saki is coming downtown Homestead.
Who's this?
Sushi Saki.
Ooh, I heard that
Saki
too.
coming downtown Homestead, but where they're going is where the bistro is.
Right.
So
They're
where the
converting
bistro-
it to it?
I'm not exactly sure if they're
Right,
converting the
converting?
whole thing, but
Right.
I love Sushi Saki. I think that's going to be a great addition to the restaurants here in
Yeah.
our downtown area. And we hope that this is one of many to follow right after them, because I'd love to walk out downtown and just walk up
across
to,
the street.
to a cafe and get
Yeah.
some good coffee.
Because, we have Yachty Spice here, which is an amazing Caribbean restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
You have, what you call it, Chef on the Run.
Yeah.
And then we have the taco place next door. So some good names are currently here. El Toro, I'm not sure what's happening there, whether El Toro Taco is going to open. The revitalization of downtown has really been on the move. But, get in where you fit in now. If you're a restaurant and considering, in the Chamber Center there, we have space. I don't know what it is. I know they have some LOIs out there, but I'm not sure, as far as is it sticky yet?
Yeah, we had some complaints in the past of downtown being an area where there's a lot of homeless. People didn't feel safe.
Right.
But with what the new Chief Mario Knapp is doing, big shout out to Mario
Yes.
Knapp and the whole Homestead Police Department. They have really cleaned up downtown. This place is safer than ever. It's cleaner than ever. So please make your way to downtown Homestead so you guys can see this beautiful historic place. And a big thank you to Chief Mario Knapp and the Homestead Police Department for what they are doing and how they're making the business owners feel in the downtown area.
And he's welcoming. He's very welcoming. I've seen him on a lot of little, all over social media now, and I've met him several times in different space. And very welcoming. Very, it seems like okay, good. We want to know more. Who are you? And welcome to the community. And when he tells us his story, about the different facet of his life story.
Yeah.
It's a really, really interesting, man. Really nice guy. So I'm
Great
hoping
way
he
of
does great
keeping
things.
us engaged.
Good luck. Yeah.
Great
Good
way
luck
of keeping
there.
us engaged.
So.
Well, we are going to wrap this up, and stay tuned, like and subscribe. And next week, we're going to have something really special for you guys. Thank you very
Stay
much.
tuned.
Have an awesome day.
Cool beans.